just couldn't resist another beach walk. It's November, obviously, and in New Jersey, and we do not get 77-degree days to dress like this in November. And it's just so gorgeous out because it's sunset and it's a full moon. So I don't know if I can zoom in on this. No, I can't zoom in, but I will try to get some full moon shots. But it's just so beautiful. I figured, wow, look at that. Let's see if I can get that in. No, I can't focus that in. But I decided I would jump on. Maybe I could flip the camera around. Hi, Tracy. So pretty. It's a surfer out there. Bet you that water's cold. I will. Of course, you know, now I have to try. Yeah, it's chilly. Yeah, I would not be swimming in that right now. Yeah, actually, all you cold therapy people do that. I haven't ventured there yet. So, all right, let me see if you guys have some questions. I have, okay, Makash says, I love that butter in the pan. What might you call that? That butter in the pan. Hi there. That beach looks beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so the butter in the pan, yeah, I gotta get that, keep that moon on here. I think you're talking about the brown butter. The brown butter bites that I make. Can't keep that moon in. I should probably stand still, but I'm trying to get my 10,000 steps in, and I'm not too close to it at this point, so I gotta keep walking. I'll be walking in the dark because I'm gonna lose light, but yeah, I think you're right. I think she does mean the brown butter. Oh, ghee. So ghee, I've actually, silly me, just because I always like to experiment, I was playing around with putting ghee in the pan to brown the ghee. Note to self, ghee does not brown. Ghee just gets piping hot and stays clear, and I just re-solidified it and went along with that experiment as a failure. I don't know what I was thinking it was going to do. I thought maybe it would intensify or change the flavor a little, but I guess because all the milk solids are already clarified out, which technically that's what you do to make ghee, is when you separate out the milk solids. But let's see. I have had a lot of people talk about how much they appreciate the brown butter bites as getting over their cravings coming into carnivore. And I think that you have to have some sort of crutch, some sort of tool in your toolbox, because our bodies are so geared to habitual things like snacking, chips, crunch, and you need, at least initially, a substitute. And I feel like the cravings are so important to try to subdue, tame it, whip it back, say, you're not getting me, because man, they are very conniving. They will try to convince you at every turn to come right back in. Just have a little of this, just have a little of that. It's just a little. Or somebody has something that they're offering you, they don't know that you're eating any differently, and then you almost feel a little uncomfortable because, or you convince yourself you're feeling uncomfortable, and you convince yourself that, oh gosh, look at that moon. You convince yourself that that you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or you don't want to make a spectacle, and it's your addictive brain convincing you to not make a big deal and go along with it and just have it. Believe me, that's all it is, because you at any moment have control over what you put in your mouth. So I think, I'm gonna have to flip this. This is just too nice. Look at that. So pretty. I know, it's so weird. It's like I'm talking about addictions and the demon of that nagging, addictive voice in your brain, and now I just turn it around to this peaceful, beautiful moonscape at the beach. But it's really kind of like the dichotomy of life, you know. It's you know, I was coaching somebody today, and she just outright admitted, she says, you know, I'm just not ready to commit. And she said, I can only do certain periods of time, and then she falls back in the ditch. And I said, you have to get to that point where you're so sick and tired of being sick and tired, or feeling whatever particular way, whatever's kind of driven you to research and become my my coaching client here. There's got to be a driving force. So why are you saying you're not ready to commit? And it's that addictive brain that says, I'm not ready to give up all of that forever. Just, I guess, the thought of never having a slice of pizza again. And I said, it's not about thinking about never having a slice of pizza again. It's continuing to do this and feeling better and having so many positive benefits. I gotta try to get that moon, keep the moon in there. Something nice to look at. That guy's fishing right there. That it's not that you can't have it, it's that you really, and I mean deep down really, are choosing not to have it. You know how ill it's made you. You know how either inflamed or overweight or diagnosed with autoimmune issues. So it really has to come down to staying immersed in the community, and that's why I love having the groups. Every week I get somebody who writes me such a touching personal message about how much of an impact that this has had. And you know, sometimes when somebody comes to sign up and they're not quite sure and they don't even know what it means to be in a group, I send them the prior month's recordings of a particular group, and I say, watch these and let me know if you feel you fit in. And I just get such a resounding positive impact, like, wow, these people really get me and I get them, and I can't wait for next week's meeting. I am joining in, and it's just great. And then in between, they all stay in touch through the private WhatsApp chat, and they share recipes and questions and answers and podcasts and books that were helpful. And I don't know, you need community, because it's so hard, especially if the rest of your family is not doing this. It's so hard to go through day by day, week by week, holiday by holiday, because come on guys, we all know, I always called it the trifecta, the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It's kind of crazy. I gotta start walking back, because you know what? I've done this before. I don't know if you all have witnessed a couple of my lives that I've done where I walk too far and then it's pitch black. It's all good. I know my way home. Oh, where was I at? Yeah, this time is so difficult. And actually, I'm going to get to your questions in just a sec because I see one that's up there, but hang on. I got a thought going here. I was thinking about offering, but the hard part really is finding the day and the time, but offering um, anybody and everyone who wants support getting through this holiday season without falling in the damn ditch, because we all know what it's like. It just goes back to being that yo-yo dieter. You know, you're good for a bit and then you're back in the ditch. And then what good was it? And now you feel like you've sabotaged yourself, you feel like crap, some aches and pains come back, some inflammation comes back, your glucose goes up. I mean, it's a hard reality for most of us, and I'm not saying everybody's in this boat, but it's abstinence, it's not moderation. We can't moderate this stuff even during the holidays. And if you want to feel really good and really proud of yourself, make it through the holidays, choosing not to put any of that garbage in your body. It's a choice every day, every moment. You've got to have a plan. So getting back to what I was going to say is I was thinking about having a weekly Zoom. I haven't decided what I wanted to call it, but I did have at one point a cool name. You could call it Cruising Through Christmas, Carnivore. Yeah, just making it through, and how important it is in this particular time of year because of the added stress. There's no excuse, because I said everybody's got their shit in life. Everybody. You can't keep letting that addictive side of your brain use that as an excuse. Well, my dad's dying. Well, I got ousted out of my job. Well, my daughter's not talking to me. I've listed a lot of my own personal pain right there. Let me tell you, it's not an excuse to go back to the misery. It really isn't. And, you know, you have to really think hard about this perpetual roller coaster that we end up on when we allow that garbage back in. And so, I don't know, would any of you be interested in joining into that kind of group? I mean, I have my regular carnivore groups, but what I was thinking about doing is not putting a limit on it, no price on it, it's free, or you could kick in a donation if you want, if you're feeling value from it. But I just want it to not be something where somebody can't do it because they can't afford it in their budget or whatever, but just have a weekly pep talk, a weekly meeting of the minds about this specific problem with all of the stress and triggers and you name it, that comes with this, and how easily we fall back into the ditch. It's a slippery little slope. It's a little bite of, you know, your aunt's famous cookies here, and then there's some chocolates brought into the office there, and then next thing you know, it's like, well, we can start January 1st. And I just want to be able to help somebody out of that if I can. So it's so hard trying to pick a day and a time because there's so many different time zones and work schedules. And, you know, I could have it where if as many people as possible can join in at the time of the meeting, and then whoever else wants to just do it virtually, and I will put you on a email list that after the meeting, the recording will go out to each person on the list who's interested in listening. And so I don't know, it's just an idea I'm kicking out because, you know, if you follow me and you know me both on Instagram and now here a bit more on YouTube, I just so sincerely want to try to help people out of this, I call it a predicament. I mean, I was stuck in a very downward spiral into a black hole that I couldn't get out of my own way to get out of. And I just want to be inspiring and motivational to people to understand that there is absolutely a way out of it, and there's certain things that you really have to do, and just talk about it, and talk about it with other people who are going through the same thing, who keep falling in the ditch during the holidays. So, all right, I'm gonna head to some questions. Thanks all for joining. This is awesome. I love having people with me on my walk. Let me see. Hi, if you learned something from your experiment, it wasn't a failure. Yeah, I would say never a mistake, always a learning experience. That's so true. Oh, hi, Grammy7. Thanks. Yeah, so Mikash says, really like the caramel flavor. I don't really, I guess, yeah, it doesn't, I can't describe it. It's not nutty and it's not caramel to me. It's just an intensely buttered flavor that, yeah, I guess it has a hint of toffee without the sugar. Maybe that's hint of caramel without the sugar. Sailing Novatorient. It's hard. Hi Doc, love your walk and talk videos. So nice to catch you live while I eat my yum grilled beef patties with butter. Former vegetarian, now carnivore for almost 4 months, feeling much better. I love hearing those testimonials because I have some friends and some like children of some of my friends that are in their 20s that are vegetarian, and I feel so helpless in trying to spread the word of carnivore because it's almost like a cult. They so are ingrained in doing it that they can't imagine anything else, and then they get a little I guess a little righteous about how, you know, I guess everybody has different reasons for eating that way. But 3 months in, people say I lost too much weight. I want to gain some back. Any thoughts? Yeah, wow, that would be so simple for me. I would just eat some more meat, fatty meat, more fat and more meat. You can definitely bump up by doing that. And then you might say, well, I don't have an appetite because I'm so satiated. I mean, what is underweight? Are you actually really, truly underweight? Because what people who look at somebody who's at their lean, ideal body weight, especially if it's somebody who's lost weight, they will start to get concerned. They'll get worried. You've lost too much weight. Meanwhile, we have such a distorted view of what normal body weight is now. It's really kind of incredible. But you know, do some weight-bearing exercise and walk, strength training. And I know you think it's counterintuitive. If you walk, then you're burning calories, but no, it really has to do, just strengthen your cardio system, and at least twice a week, heavy weights till you reach the point of failure and start building muscle. Let's see. What's the side effect of eating too much butter? Weight gain, upset stomach, greasy skin. Not greasy skin at all. I've never experienced that. I sometimes will eat over 200 to 250 grams of fat, just to kind of sometimes see what it's like to be that high of a percentage of fat. And most people will get nausea or diarrhea as a kind of side effect of it, but it just is an indication you've had too much. It doesn't do any harm. Stearic acid that's in the butter is so beneficial. Do I still have the moon here? I'm losing it with the words I'm doing here. Water always seeks level. Earth not a spinning ball in the vacuum of space. Valerie says, are you pushing a walker? Are you okay? No, I've got a selfie stick in my hand so that I can't hold up my phone out in front of me, like get too much lactic acid building up. So I'm holding a selfie stick, not a walker. Once in a while I eat something I used to love and then quickly realize it's not as good as my memory of it, or the stomach ache that follows is just not worth the temporary pleasure. Yeah, so that's an awesome thing to figure out, that the things that we actually used to think were so good are actually sickeningly, putridly sweet and not tasteful after all. Brown butter bites are such an awesome snack. Yep, for nighttime snacker. It's perfect. It kind of just cuts out that little nagging thought in your head to get up and eat something, and it's something nutritious and healthy. Hi, Anne. Thanks for loving my recipes. I have so many more to do, and I'm just so bizarrely inundated right now with trying to do anything and everything that I can to keep up with life at the moment. And so I got them all coming though. Um, yeah, she's holding a selfie stick. 3 a.m. starts a total eclipse in the morning. Yeah, you know what? If I wake up really early, I'm gonna go out and see what this all looks like. Teresa, thanks. I love doing the walks on the beach. I wish the weather was gonna be staying this warm. Okay, so T-Champ says, love to join that group. Awesome. All right, I'm all in for a free group. I don't have Facebook, only YouTube. Huh, yeah, I guess, well, so I guess I could announce it on a YouTube short, and then I would have to put the link to the Zoom and just tell you the day and the time. Everybody'd have to give me their email address who's interested. So if you could, in the notes of this, I'm gonna post this as a video. In the notes section, I'll have my email account. Just send me your email and put next to it Holiday Zoom. We'll just call it the Holiday Zoom. And I will figure out a day and time and see if I can get that all going. Let me just, I lost where I was. What would you do with the 1.9 billion lotto tonight? Oh my gosh. I would probably, I don't know, I would purchase all the condos, the rest of the condos in my building and own the whole thing. How's that? That would be fun. And then I would travel around the world yearly, just in different routes to have different experiences, because I've not really traveled all that much. Yeah, travel would be definitely something I would do a lot of. So I'm going to be in Florida for the months of January and February and kind of working remotely from there. And I'm thinking I'm going to continue doing some walks on the beach. I will just make a point of it because it really is such a beautiful backdrop instead of just sitting on a chair in front of a desk. Let's see, reflection of moon proves Earth not a ball. Yeah, look at that, it's so pretty. This is super helpful last year when you did the groups through the holidays. Oh, hi Shelly, yeah, I did October, November, December. I guess I just did one, let me think. I don't know whether I did 1 or 2 groups. Yep, I did. I did it at no charge to anybody and everybody. And then it was such a popular thing and everybody wanted to keep going. And so, hi Doc, love your live. I'm just wondering how to know if you're hitting your protein threshold. My blood glucose is at 94 most mornings. My ketones are high at 1.9 to 2.9, but I'm not losing. Well, so Jennifer, the key is getting that glucose down, because that means you've got some insulin resistance, and your glucose ideally needs to be between about 72 and 84. And when that insulin heals, that's when the weight will start peeling off. You have to understand insulin is a hormone. Insulin is the hormone that is responsible for fat storage. It's holding on to that fat. But don't give up, don't get frustrated. Just keep going. Your ketones are great. As long as you're feeling good and you're satiated, and I don't want anybody to feel they have to start starving themselves to try to lose weight or fast. If you know me, I'm not a big proponent of fasting. I do occasionally, not by full intention, but do an OMAD day, but it's very rare now. It's usually always twice a day is really my comfort level of eating 2 meals. But I'm not a big fan of, pushing yourself to not eat. I just think our bodies have such a strong drive to keep fed, and when we don't, answer that it goes into survival mode and protective mode. And so I think that this high fat, moderate protein is fasting mimicking enough that just stick with it, Jennifer. Great idea, just chambering out of a black hole myself. Support and understanding makes such a difference. Yeah, it's so important, and it's so amazing to be around a whole group of people that are going through the same thing and share experiences and what works. Will carnivore help with meibomian gland dysfunction? Absolutely, yes. I have personal experience of one of my patients who had a very significant case of meibomian gland dysfunction, blepharitis, recurrent chalazion, and he was one who actually listened to me when this wacky eye doctor told him, if I'm not going to put you on low dose long-term antibiotic, it's ridiculous, that's not the answer to this, it has to be root cause healing. And I said, I know this sounds crazy, but look into it. All right, now I'm really losing light, aren't I? I better head up. And yeah, so, and you all out there right now could throw anything at me as far as a question like, will carnivore help X? Will carnivore help Y? Will carnivore help Z? My answer is yes, yes, yes. There's no reason for me to feel that when you remove processed foods, grains, sugars, seed oils, nuts, seeds, plants from your diet and replace it with fatty meat and eggs, that your body is going to heal. Might take some time, but it's going to heal everything that's wrong because it naturally wants to evolve to a healthy state to survive. It's the survival of the organism. I knew I was going to be in a cult one day, so glad it's with lovely carnivores. Exactly. Pronounced novaturient. Novaturient, okay. Means desiring a powerful change of behavior or circumstances. Going carnivore is my biggest change ever. Yeah, for most all of us, I'm going to say that's probably the case. We'll continue to watch you on YouTube. Looking forward to hearing your insights. Great. Was that Robin? I found out that I can't do dairy and that my problem was with dairy. If I use beef tallow, I'm fine. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that are not tolerant of dairy. Dairy can be inflammatory. Dairy can be addictive because of the casomorphine. So there's no real reason to push to try to get it back in to your repertoire. Just stick with the beef. There's goose fat, duck fat, beef fat, pork fat. It's all really healthy and really good for you. Wish I could find a doctor on board with my health. Yeah, there's some databases of low-carb practitioners. Search online, and I know it's hard, but just found you a few days ago. I love the pork belly recipe. Yeah, that is one of my absolute favorites. 74 and less than 20 carbs since April. Still waiting for my body to cooperate and my blood sugar to lower. Yeah, well, you had 7 decades of eating crap, right? Brant in KC. Such a huge gap to bridge. I lived a life of going to ditch foods as a reason to eat bad. I used it for both celebration and comfort to justify it. No longer worth it to me. Thanks. Yeah, it's really so important to get to that point where you have your own really why that makes you cry and you understand the answer. I'll be in Boca Raton in January for Low Carb USA. Is that near you? Yeah, I might actually go to Low Carb US, Low Carb Boca. Let me come up here so I can get some light. But Boca's probably about, I don't know, 45 minutes south of where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in Jupiter. Hi, a carnivore doc, Ian from England. Hi, Ian. Hi from Rockledge, Florida, dealing with Lyme and wondering how to do this without massive fatigue issues. There is a very famous couple, Joe and Charlene Anderson, who have been carnivore for, I believe, gosh, I'm going to say, I think 30 or 40, 30, I think about 30, 35 years now. He came to it trying to seek an answer for his wife's severe Lyme issues, and they eat nothing but ribeye and water for all this time, and they're doing amazingly well, and their two boys are also fully carnivore. I think they're in their late teens. Thank you for your help. I appreciate you. Thank you, Mandy. You mentioned training for a hike next year. Where was that? Yeah, so I'm going to hopefully next summer hike Mount Whitney, which is the highest peak in the contiguous US, 14,500 feet. And so, yeah, it's going to take a bit of me being diligent about doing my zone 2 training and doing some incline treadmill at the gym this winter, and just, I don't know, it's really great to have a goal and a challenge. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it based on altitude sickness. Suppose you got to get out there like a week in advance and start climbing up into the altitude, or else you got to turn around. It can be serious stuff. Angela Rose, good evening. Can you have too much iron in the diet? No, what's too much? You mean you're eating too much beef and it's too much iron? I've been eating pretty much all beef for 13 and a half years, and my iron is fine. So I would not concern yourself that your body is going to allow that to happen. Hi, 3rd month keto, healing my leaky gut and feeling very strong and awake. Small improvements already. Great. So that's just going to wait till you see how much it will continue and further improvements. Thanks, Doc. Guys, don't forget to like the video for the algorithm. She deserves more subscribers. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, I have no idea how that all works. I don't even I always hear people saying hit the like, and you know what, I'm so not into this whole algorithm thing, but I know it's important. I know back when I got my first 1,000 subscribers, I was excited because then they said, now you just need 4,000 watch hours and then you can get monetized. So yeah, YouTube throws me a few bucks. It's not much. I'm not in the Dr. Berry category, but yeah, I think the algorithm is really important, and I have no idea how it works, but thanks. I hit the like button, hit the thumbs up for me. Thanks. Oh my gosh, I'm sitting in traffic and look at who I found. Thanks, Robert. Karen Schmidt says, what are your thoughts on the Spurdy tanning lamp? I know they have a vitamin D lamp, but I want a tan. Yeah, so I just have the UVB, the vitamin D Spurdy lamp that I purchased on my own. I did not have that delivered free of charge to promote it. I purchased it and did my own experiment with trying to determine if it actually raised my vitamin D level, and I did a 2-month experiment. And I know so many people asked for the follow-up video, and I know I've just been so remiss, and because I really want to make it good, and I started doing more research to try to put more info in there, and then I get sidetracked and then I don't do it. But so the upshot of is it increased my vitamin D by 74% in just 2 months. It was December and January of last year. I was here in New Jersey. I did not take any oral supplements, and there was no vitamin D to be had in the winter in New Jersey. And as soon as I got down to Florida, after 2 months of using the lamp, I retested my blood work, and yeah, it was pretty incredible. So, and the thing lasts, I don't know, it's like, it's like, I forget how many hours. It's like crazy. I mean, the bulbs is like, it lasts a long, long time. You're only doing it 5 minutes every other day. I do it 10. I do 5 on the front and 5 on the back now. I didn't do it back then. I just did what they said, 5 minutes every other day. But I figure, heck, I might as well do the 5 minutes on the back side also, right? Since I'm standing there naked already, what the heck? Might as well make good use of it. But yeah, so as far as the tanning, so I don't know about I know they have a tanning one, but I have a free tanning booth and beds at my Planet Fitness that's included in my membership. And I do that, I don't know, once or twice a week leading up to going to Florida, because I don't want to get all like untanned and then hit Florida. So